What's up, guys? It's Wolfgang back with another Dorkfish review, and today we're going to get into McFarlane's Bebop and Rocksteady. Let's get into it. Originally created for the first toy line and then introduced into the original 80s cartoon, Bebop and Rocksteady are two thugs mutated by the Shredder to become the Warthog and Rhino we know today. They are fantastic characters that throughout the history of TMNT has shown up in films, cartoons, comics, toys, any other medium you can think of, video games. Bebop and Rocksteady have been an intricate part of the TMNT lore. Now, that being said, we're going to jump into these figures and see how they are. Starting, of course, with box and accessories. For the boxes, as you can see, they come in the blister packs with the cardboard backing. In the very back of them, they have the comic books. Those are a couple of cool little accessories for them, but obviously you can't use those when applying to the figure. On the backs, you see some stylized art from the comics about them. Pretty basic and straightforward. They do well. The only problem is if you are a box collector that likes to open them up and then put them back in, it's not really a good way to do it without tearing up the box. So that being said, let's jump into the accessories. And we're going to start with Bebop's accessories. And he comes with two head sculpts, the one you see on him, which is obviously not the one on him in package. The one on him in package is this one here. They did a really good job with that. I like the effect of it coming off the head, the shocked look. I think it's painted pretty well. All the way around. Pretty good. I like it. The head sculpt that's on him is very well done as well. More of a serious look. And I think they nailed that. I like that a lot. He comes with three sets of hands. Two of them that you see on him right now. One of them being a brass knuck hand, and the other one just being a regular closed fist. He also has a brass knuck hand for the other side. He has his gun holding hand, which is pretty well done. Everything is painted, which I like. He has this gripping hand for his chainsaw. And he has this kind of stylized grabbing hand, which is done well. And then you've got the chainsaw, which is done well enough. It's a pliable rubber, so a little bend in there, but a heat dry will take that out. And then a pretty basic gun. And overall, I think that's a pretty nice spread of accessories for Bebop. I like what he's got going on there with that. Not too much more I can think of. So let's check out Rocksteady's. And just like Bebop, Rocksteady comes with two head sculpts. The one you see on him is the one that comes on him in package. Nice little grinning, stylized look. I like it a lot. And then he comes with this more stoic stone face here. Sculpt is fantastic. It's not just painted well, it's actually textured. So I like the texture of the skin there. He comes with the fist hands you see on him. He's got a couple of stylized grabbing hands, one for each. And then he's got two kind of open fist hands to hold his weapon. So he comes with one less accessory than Bebop. He is also a little bit bigger, and I don't mind. I think it's done well enough. Here is his hammer. So overall, I think a great spread of accessories for both of these toys. I don't feel like they're really lacking anything. I mean, you could get some goofy stuff like the nose sniffer machine from the cartoon or some other minor things from the cartoon. But ultimately, what they got going on here, I really, really like accessory-wise. Now, let's get into aesthetics. And aesthetically speaking, I think these figures are pretty good all in all. We're going to start with Bebop. He's got a lot of great stuff going on with the sculpt and the paintwork. I think is fantastic. I mean, even the brass knucks are pretty well painted. I like the texturing on the jacket. I like the wash. The glasses might be the most basic part of him. So maybe a little something on the glasses, but even the pants have a wash on them and look pretty good. You got the sculpted fur in there all the way across the whole body. None of that fur is painted. It's painted and washed, but none of it is just slapped on with paint. It is all sculpted there. I'm very happy with that. The belt, the texturing on the belt, the chain, the nose ring, all of that looks pretty good. Overall, even his wristbands are pretty well done. I mean, maybe you could paint the studs in, but that's really about it. There's not a lot to complain about. I like the way they did the zippers. It's nice and clean. Yeah, they pretty much nailed it. I mean, aside from the studs on the wrist and the glasses, it's pretty well done. And even this head looks great. They got the tongue out to the side. You got the shocked eye. The expression is there. They did a really, really good job with the hair on him. Yeah, I mean, the only thing otherwise that's basic about him, his accessories. There's not a lot to the chainsaw as far as the wash goes or anything, so maybe that could get a wash. And the gun is pretty flat, but I don't think the gun needs to be super crazy, so I'm okay with that. So aesthetically speaking, I think from that standpoint, he's pretty good. Not really a lot to complain about, I don't think, aesthetically. But what about Rocksteady? Rocksteady's skin is textured so well. I love the textured skin. You've got the texture in the shirt, in the pants, nice paint. He's not as dirty as Bebop, so which is being a pick, fair enough. Nice metal there. Good job with that. Sculpt wise, he is fantastic. I love how they got the little teeth in there, the look on the eyes. If I was to actually pick apart anything that I didn't like on Rocksteady, it's the fact that his horns and his toes and fingernails match the skin color, so they kind of blend in a little too much. Those should have been the same color as the teeth. But otherwise, his overall paint job and sculpt is very well done. I mean, even the other hands, great job with the sculpting and painting. Like I said, we just could have, if the fingernails had been individual, see how it just blends in there. The fingernails had been painted individually, the toenails, and then the horns, which I'll probably customize mine to do. It would have been so much better if they were. And then a little cheap on the handle. I like the look of the hammer itself, the head. And I like that they painted that in. Edging is a little silver there, but it's just a rubbery plastic look. So maybe they could have done something to matte it and detail it a little bit. Give it that same feel in grime and dirt as like on Bebop. This head sculpt, very well done. I love that stoic and angry look. I am with it. Again, same gripe. I just wish that the horns were a different color, the same color as his teeth or eyes there, just to give it a little bit of depth and difference, because it kind of starts to blend in from a distance. I'm sure you're looking at it on camera here, you can kind of tell, but also it looks like it blends in to me. So aesthetically, still pretty good. Just some minor things, but overall, I'm not mad with them. I'm happy with that. With that being said, the question is, how do they articulate? So for articulation, the majority of their articulation is pretty similar to most of McFarlane's line. There's a few small things that are different, and they are completely built the same in terms of articulation. The difference in them is just going to be down to the sculpt and size, and that's really the head and the torso. The rest of the body all articulates the same. So I'm going to show you the head and torso difference on them. But when it comes to the arms and all the other stuff, I'm just going to use one body. So his head is on a ball and peg. Looks up about that far. Down about that far. You've got your side to side. Turns easy. Head's well enough, right? Your torso, you've got turn there. There's no pivot here. Can't really go down that far. That's about how far back he goes. To the side a little bit. To the side a little bit. He's also a bigger guy. It's a little more hindered on him. So that's what that is. Shoulder's the same kind of shoulder McFarlane always does. So it is out that far. And up and around. Elbow. Whoop. Hands pop out pretty easy. Elbows are stiff. Same with the knees. So elbow goes in about that far, and you got a hinge at elbow. Now, the wrists are a bit different from most McFarlane's and other figures because they are ball joints that are attached to the hands on each individual one, which I don't mind actually. Creates a gap, but they move around well enough, right? Now you've got the legs. Whoop. Those are going to pop out so easy. So that's one thing to think about. But for the legs, splits just fine on him. Leg kicks up, only about that far. The knee bends are super stiff. You got to be super careful with them. They're heavy ratchet. Oh, it's going to be tough. Boom. One more. Can barely get it to go, but about that far from the knee. Not great. Doesn't look horrible. Bends back fine. No swivel at the knee. There is swivel up on the thigh, but they are super tight. And then the ankle is on a ball joint, the same as the wrists. So it has that same movement. So that is Bebop. Now for Rocksteady. His head goes up about that far and goes down way further. I like that. You start to see some gappage in there, but you get some good movement out of him. But that up and down movement is pivotal for a rhino, and it works out great. As per his torso, not far down, a little further back than Bebop. Could be because of the jacket too, but no real side to side on him. But there's his tilt, just to show you. Arms out, all the way around, elbow joint, twist, same kind of wrist joint, same thing with the hips. Kick out might be just a touch less, but yeah, same thing. And then really tight knees. I'm not even gonna push him. Just need to get in there with a heat gun and warm it up. But that is the articulation, and it's not super crazy, but these are bigger, bulkier characters, so I'm not super upset with it. So with that being said, now we're going to go into size comparison. Here's Bebop and Rocksteady next to an Eastman and Laird's Master Splinter. Here they are next to the Super 7's Ultimate 2003 TMNT Leonardo. I don't hate that scale. Not perfect, but pretty good. Here they are next to a Mezco Eastman and Laird style Leonardo. And I gotta say, I like both the scaling and the looks overall together. I think they fit pretty well in tone with the Eastman and Laird Mezco turtles. And here they are next to a custom Mezco shredder on the Golden Skull body. And I'm kind of conflicted. I don't completely hate it, but Shredder is a little too big for them. I think they needed to be about another half an inch bigger, and they would probably fit right in, to be honest. And for fun, here they are next to the Jada Toys Ryu. And I don't hate that scale either. It's okay. Ryu should probably be a little shorter in terms of their size, but I don't hate it. And now for my final thoughts. Ultimately, I know they're a little smaller than they probably should be. And they've got a few things, articulation not completely going for them. And then there's a few things aesthetically that could be fixed, adjusted, worked on. Overall, I'm going to suggest these figures. I think they're cool. If you want to just plug a hole with a cool looking Bebop and Rocksteady, I think that they are the right ones. So there are some third-party figures that are significantly better, but when we're talking ultimately licensed versions that you can get relatively easy, these are probably my favorites outside of the Toon ones. And the Toon ones are made by NECA, of course. And keep in mind with the scaling, while I've brought that up, the reality is these figures weren't made for the 1/12 scale line. There's a smaller line done by McFarlane of Ninja Turtles that are kind of the 4-inch line, and these are supposed to be the big characters in that. So they look perfectly fine in that line. And if they were maybe a ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch taller, then they would be, I feel like, perfect for the 1/12 scale as well. So while I'm giving it crap about that, the reality is I shouldn't. because the line it's for. It's a simpler line and a smaller line. I'm going to suggest them. I think they're worth getting. I got mine at my normal shop, Killer Finds. You can find them on McFarlane or probably most of any other comic shop. Not sure about major box retailers, but probably so. That being said, I'm going to bring the review to an end. Thank you guys for watching. Comment down below your favorite version of Bebop and Rocksteady. Watch all the other reviews we got going on the channel. We've got tons more coming up. Thank you, and have a killer day. Wolfgang's out. Later, guys.